Honorable Owen Baya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and I also want to thank the Honorable Pio Wandai for bringing this motion. But Honorable Wandai should have thought also about that taxes, revenue, when well paid, actually bring down the cost of living. But then we know people in this country who have refused to pay taxes, who always want to look the other way, who have big farms, big properties that they're not using for anything for production, and yet they don't want to pay taxes for those. The people who sponsor the mandamanos that we have. Honorable Speaker, this is when we need to face the real facts. Why is this country in the hole that it is in? It is in the hole that is in because some people have refused to pay taxes.
Honorable Pio Wandai.
Madam Speaker, we need decorum in this house. What has my motion got to do with
taxes?
People who are evading taxes?
Of course.
And yet, what has my motion to do with people who are demonstrating?
Of course.
Whilst exercising their right under Article 37 of the Constitution.
Thank you. Thank you.
And more importantly, Madam Speaker,
thank you.
Can you compel the Honorable Owen Baya?
I will substantiate.
To name the person who is financing the mandamanus.
I will substantiate.
Here and now.
I will substantiate.
Otherwise, he withdraws and apologizes.
I will.
Thank you.
But if revenue is not paid, salaries will not be there. If revenue is not paid, we will not be able to give farmers production subsidies. If revenue is not there, this country will not meet its targets. It will not pay the heavy debts that the handshake regime brought into this country, the revenue. And I want to say that it is on record, and there is even an act of parliament here that says that certain families be prevented from, recused from paying taxes. It is in this house. And it is those things that have put this country in a hole. And this government, what we are saying is we want to finance this government, the operations of this government through local revenue. And local revenue will come from the big farms. Local revenue will come from those people who have for many years evaded to pay taxes because they're in power. We are saying this government will fix this economy using local revenue. Secondly, Madam Speaker, we know this country is in debt. If you ask the CS for Finance today, he will tell you that we have the first charge on government is to pay debt. Today, we must pay the debts which were taken to pay Helios. Today, we must pay the debts that were taken to pay for KEMSA. Today, we must get money to ensure that we pay for the things that were taken. We saw the budget here, and we saw that this government lost a lot of money. Where will the government pay for these international debts? It is the first charge on the budget. The first charge on the budget means first we have to pay debts before we start thinking of paying salaries. And that is what economics is about government. So today, if someone here says we have not been paid salary, you should ask those people who took those many loans, those big loans, how are they expecting them to be paid first? Secondly, including subsidies. Subsidies were paid, but the people who were supposed to have been paid never received the money. And those are facts. Today we are paying debts. If you ask the finance minister, he will tell you the first charge on budget is to pay international obligations. So when international obligations are paid, you make noise. Why do you make noise? And Opio and I, the Honorable Opio and I, the Honorable Leader of Minority, was here defending the handshake regime. Today you come here and say, you know, we cost of living, Madam Speaker, will continue to skyrocket. I want to hear his point of order.
Actually, the point of order was raised by Honorable Mbowe. Honorable Robert Mbowe.
Mbowe, he's my equal. He's my equal. You wait.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Sit down.
Madam Speaker, I've listened very keenly to the Deputy Leader of the majority, and he keeps referring to the handshake regime. Madam Speaker, the last regime, as far as all of us know, and the records are there, was a Jubilee regime, led by Uhuru Kenyatta, deputized by William Samoei Ruto. Which is this handshake regime that ran this country? There was a cabinet. There was a cabinet. Raila was not part of it.
I will substantiate.
Why do you keep saying, why do you keep putting us
I will substantiate.
Order members. You cannot have two members on their feet. When you have a point of order,
thank you.
You sit.
But my mic is still on.
Yes.
Can I substantiate?
Honorable
Speaker, the chairperson of the Finance and Planning Committee in this parliament, the person who brought the finance bill in this parliament, was none other than the Honorable Governor Gladys Wanga. She belonged to the ODM. All the money collected was brought in by one person who was a member who was in the ODM. That is the handshake. Finance committee, led now by the Honorable Kuria here, will show you how to do things. And that is how we are going to bring the cost of living in this country down. So I want to say this. When I see Rosa Buyu here, she makes me want to speak more. So I want to say this. Honorable Speaker, hard decisions must be taken. Hard decisions must be taken. And these hard decisions...
What is your point of order, Honorable Opio and I?
Opio and I, please add me 2 minutes.
Madam Speaker,
2 minutes.
I really plead with you to ensure that this House maintains decorum. Madam Speaker, even though I may understand the obsession that my good friend Owen Baya has with the so-called past regime, we must not misrepresent facts. He has just been on record that I was here in the last parliament defending the so-called handshake regime. Madam Speaker, nothing could be further from the truth. Madam Speaker, in the last parliament, which I served, Madam Speaker, you know I've got a stellar record in this House. I was the chairperson of the
Do not be tempted to debate, Honorable
for 5 years, Madam Speaker. This is important, Madam Speaker. I was chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, oversighting the accounts of the executive.
Order members, please don't use point of orders to debate. That is one. Please take your seats. Both of you, take your seats. Honorable Rosa Buyu, you have just walked in. We are not shouting. We are maintaining decorum in this House. Honorable Owen Baya, you have a few seconds remaining. Standing Order 33 does not allow any extra minutes. It is 5 minutes for every member, and there is no point of order on a point of order. Please, Honorable Owen Baya.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I would like to state this. Without subsidies, the cost of unga is now coming down. Without subsidies, the dollar is coming down. Without subsidies, the cost of living is coming down gradually. We shall get there, Madam Speaker. This government led by William Ruto will get things down.
What is your point of order, Honorable Pukose?
Please add me 1 second.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Opio Andai has just claimed that he had a stellar record in this House. This House records will show that
Honorable Pukose, you are out of order. Honorable Opio Andai has already taken his seat. Honorable Owen Baya is on his feet.
Madam Speaker, without much ado, this government has secured fuel purchase agreement that will use the Kenya shillings, not the dollar. We are de-dollarizing this economy. This government has a plan that will change things. And Kenyans need to have hope, and we want to give them hope that the government of William Samoei Ruto will bring the cost of living down within